Hello friends, Namaskar. I hope you all doing well. Your family, you are enjoying the all the things in your life and you are in positive mood for doing all the work in home and in your office. So friends, we understand what is the risk in computer system validation in my previous videos, what is the requirement, why we are doing this and how we can do this. In same series, now I'm coming with some warning letters or some observations because we are doing many things to compliance our observation, compliance our work. Still we have some observation. In this video, I collected the observation from the different locations or different media of the internet. So please don't take like this. This is the specific for any company and all. So this is only for observation and learning purpose, especially in this video. So friends, this is Hema Sharma, your one of the trainer, and I'm starting today about the some warning letters and discussion on that. So in the previous videos, we see the what is the risk assessment, what is the risk mitigation, and now we are come with the warning letter. So I'm starting one by one some warning letters from old database from the Google or internet and some new one also. First of all, why we are discussing about these? Because when we are doing the risk assessment, when we're doing and when we are working on the computer system validation, we have to remember where is the risk, where is the problem, how can we face that. So to understand this, some knowledge we have to be gathered from the media. So this will help us to understand which criteria we have to consider when we are going to be create our risk assessment, going to be prepare our risk assessment. Let's see, especially there are no written purchasing control procedure, no requirement including quality requirement have been established for your suppliers, and you have no violate your suppliers. For example, you have not established requirement or evaluated the firm that contract manufactured your dash devices, and you have not established requirement or evaluate the software contract engineer who make the device software changes. Means we understand, we remember that there is requirement of vendor qualification in the CSV. So we have to be see very carefully how we are doing the qualification of the vendor, how we selected that, which type of document we refer from there, which type of the facility they giving us. So remember that the vendor qualification is a major part of your CSV, especially the validation and control of computer software procedure. This one dated this has not been implemented and there is no validation for the software revision you have made to it dash. If you are going to be validate your system and after some time you are just taking one of the revision, so remember that you have to be take the your vendor qualification again, your vendor document we have to be see again. Next, failure to prevent unauthorized access or the changes to the data, and failure to provide adequate control to prevent omission of data. Our inspection found your laboratory system lacked control to prevent deletion of an alteration to the electronic raw data. So remember that unauthorized access of the any software not allowed. If you have any access required, take the change control, make the impact assessment like this, or you have a solid decision, or you have some SOPs how you control the access control. Okay, so there absolutely there should be no deletion provision. If there is any deletion, modification, alteration, the proper incident and justification required. Our review and audit trail data revealed that your analyst manipulated the date and time setting on your high performance liquid chromatography system. During the inspection, your analyst admitted to setting the clock back and repeating analysis for undocumented reason. Initial sample results were overwritten or deleted and unavailable for our investigation review. Your firm reported only the passing result from repeated analysis. When test results are overwritten, the quality unit is presented with the incomplete and adequate information about the quality of the drug product by your firm. Means don't delete, yeah. Never delete your document when you are doing the work. If anything you have to be reanalyzed, you have to be do again, there should be the QMS system or any QMS system you can apply, and accordingly you can investigate that. Maybe there may problem, there may be some we have to be overthinking, we have to do overwork, but this is we have to be do because of truthness of the data. So remember that all things should be documented, all things should have some evidence why we are doing like this. And most probably the deletion word should be not in our dictionary, not in our work process. Your quality control analyst use a shared login account to the access SPLC system. This shared account allowed analysts without traceability to change the date and time setting of the computer, to modify file name, and to delete original HPLC data. So please don't allow this, don't this, do this, date or time, not use this your criteria to touch the date or time. So set your system like this, whatever you are doing on a real time. 7 out of dash of your firm HPLC system used for API testing had the audit trail failure disabled, although all had audit trail functionality. So if you are in quality unit, ensure that in your unit or in your premises, may I have to say like this, in your premises, the system should be established in a proper way of the required regulatory requirement. Okay, means if you auditor is required, if you are doing the CSV, or always remember that what is the requirement audit trail, and the function of the audit trail should be properly checked and requalification required. That's why we are saying in the CSV verification is one of the most important part, and the set the frequency of verification of all the required things. In your response, you acknowledge that you lack effective measure to control data without your computerized system. You committed to revising the procedure for the computerized system, locking date and time setting, and enable audit trail function. However, you noted that you do not expected audit trail function for all the quality control instrument to be completely activated until this time. In the interim, you committed to control measure, including updated software and logbooks. So whatever you are committed, when any observation you find out, take it the positively. Internal audit should be planned regularly so that you improve regularly. If there is any problem, if there is any error, acknowledge that, take it the positively, and the corrective action again and again. See your risk assessment and check out where you acknowledge that, how you control, what is the mitigation plan for the that for the this type of the situations. Your response is insufficient because it did not specify who hold administrative privilege on your computer, or address the significant pattern of data manipulation, means deletion, data type, alteration, etc. we observed at your facility. So define who is responsible for admin work, who is responsible of all of these things, how to control the date and time, what is the process of the deletion, what is the control of your data. That's why your guidelines say like this: the admin should be the third person who have no uh, involve, who is not involving in the work. That's why in the IT admin, most of the regulatory companies, admin, IT person is admin one, because the work you are doing, this is the separate thing, separate unit, you can say, for controlling as a admin power in on your software. In response to this letter, clarify the specific user role and detail the associate privilege of each laboratory system. Provide an assessment of the effectiveness of your internal system control. Provide a commitment to conduct a similar future assessment of the effectiveness of all control expected to be placed by dash, and explain the oversight role of the quality unit in implementing these improvements and ensuring their remaining effect. So ensure not for the HPLC system or the quality control system, ensure about the whole facility system. Whatever you have as the automotive thing, electronic things, software things, think about that in your risk assessment, define your resource control and proof you have a right decision to give the privilege and access to right person. Failure to maintain complete data derived from the all laboratory tests conducted to the ensure compliance with the established specification and standard. Our investigation found that you failed to maintain complete data for all laboratory analysis and you relied on incomplete information to determine whether your drug meet established specification. Okay, so what is the means whatever data you maintain is not complete. It not complete means if your specification have A to Z parameters, your data is not complete. So investigation say that complete data is not there. A, HPLC chromatogram were deleted and not available for all investigator review. Means the chromatogram, the electronic system not available. In your response, you acknowledge that in January that some data was deleted while the network edition of the chromatographic operating system software was installed. So this is one of the example. Our investigation found a recurring practice of retesting sample until the acceptance result were obtained. For example, our investigation found repeat HPLC testing for related substance of food batch. The initial test display an unknown peak in the chromatogram. A different analyst retest the batch. 5 days later, the analysis did not display the unknown peak. Only the result of second analysis were used for the batch disposition without documented justification investigation. Means you just analysis, remove that, and again analysis, and again you retesting until you have some data. So in the risk assessment part, how can we control that? We have some traceability in our electronic data. How can we traceable that how much time the analysis going on or how much time task of related product or related work happen in your software? Not only HPLC, other one, it may be QMS, it may be another LMS, and all this type of the software. Your response is inadequate because you did not include an assessment of the deleted data. So investigation assessment is not clear. Okay, your response also lacked commitment to investigation the unknown peak in the chromatogram of food batch and to discontinue repeating tests without justification and investigation. So we can't give the any justification in this type of the work. So in how we control all these things by our software validation, by our computer system validation, we have to be remember and we have captured in our risk assessment. Failure to your quality unit to exercise its responsibility to ensure the API manufactured at your facility are in compliance with the CGMP and meet established specification for the quality and purity. Means this is the failure of the quality unit, how they are access that compliance is going or not, complete data is come and all the traceability are available or not available. So how the traceability can be seen, can be checked, we have to be considered in our risk assessment. Our investigator found batch production record that contain blank or partially completed manufacturing data and late date and signature for the verification also. For example, in your dash plan, our investigation found a batch record for dash starting material batch with sticky note from the quality assurance department directly operate to enter the manufacturing data such as missing weight and volume entries. Also, your unit quality unit did not approve this batch record before the material was used in further manufacturing. So this is the very important things we are saying for the software point of view. If we are purchasing any software related to batch manufacturing or you can say for the BMR related, so we also remember that if the QA not approve one of the in process step to going, or you can say for the line clearance, there should be the criteria, there should be the control in our software. So this type of the problems in electronic system we can mitigate. So at the time of risk assessment, we can include this one. All the data in GMP, CGMP records must be complete and reliable. So it can be evaluated by the quality unit during its batch review as well as maintained for additional CGMP purpose. Other documents, including cleaning record, equipment use log, were also found to be partially completed without dates and signature for the verification, or with the page or spaces initially left blank for the documentation at the later time. Your quality unit was aware for these unacceptable production department practice but did not ensure they were corrected. So if we are going with the electronic system to mitigate these all the things, so at the time of risk assessment, remember that in CSV you have to become include this type of the points. Failure to adequately establish and maintain procedure to control the design to ensure that requirements are met. Development of key functionally required the firm to assess risks and reassess risks as needed. Although DASH was released on the November 2010, software risk assessment summary document was not completed up to be 2011 and did not include an analysis of the risks specific to intended use. If your software, your electric system is prepared, if made for something the task, you have to be involved in risk assessment. Obviously, if the things are already released and you are not involving in your post risk assessment, how can you justify that the things are properly executed, the batch is released with the properly assessment, after the assessment of all the things are available or not available. So remember that don't take the risk assessment as a simple documentation process, take it as an assurance process. Failure to demonstrate that the device was developed in the accordance with the design control requirement of the quality system regulation. Failure to have complete risk analysis in that 5 version of the risk analysis were not control document. Risk analysis were not reviewed and approved. Risk analysis were not updated when a software issue was discovered that result in the software change. So remember that whenever you are going to be change or upgrade your software, risk analysis is your major part. Remember that if you are going to be change, if you are regularly doing the work, remember that if you are regularly working with your bike, your service is required. You have to be see again and again. If sometime we are going to service our bike and we just see, okay, this default is coming, if you are not coming in that time, this mis happening will be happen with you. So this type of things we have to be remember that the risk assessment process should be frequently checked for our existing system, and if we got any incident, any event in the software, we have to see again about the risk, we have to see again about the risk assessment process, so that we can mitigate, we can control in all this type of the non-compliance. Your phone failed to check the accuracy of the input to and output from the computer or related system of formulas or other record or data and establish the degree and frequency of input output verification. Okay, so accuracy in your CSV is the major part. What you are input, what is your input and what is your output? So you have to be see like this type. So in the case of your PQ or OQ, you have to be involved this type of the test. These are the check parameter you have to be involved. For example, in the PQ of your system, fail to include verification of expiry date calculation. Remember that if there is any calculation required for the expiry, your PQ is not captured that. In addition, there is no established degree and frequency of performing the verification. Discrepancy report have documented and the product labeling with the incorrect expiry date have been created an issue for use. So don't take a simple thing, make the controls there. Initiate the investigation for that. Your response said that your open investigation and you provide in January 2010 through this date completion timeline. You have not provided response to correct this violation and established a corrective action plan to ensure that computer system are properly qualified. So remember that this is not a documented process. This is the assurance of your working. So ensure your qualification again and again. Check it. If you find any discrepancy, take it as a positive, make a kappa. See, there is anything else observation? Input and output form of the computer and record or data are not checked for accuracy. Your firm was unable to demonstrate that the electronic access right and data stored by the standalone biometric access fingerprint scanner installed outside buildings, production room, analytical laboratories, and material storage area match the written record and identify person authorized to access these control area. Means if you are giving access to particular area to the person, there is the authorized person list. Either you can maintain by the your paper system, your control paper system, either you control by your software system, whatever way you have, but it should be matched the practically. That's why CSV come in the market. Please ensure, don't take CSV like a documented procedure only. It is the assurance. This is the assurance of your data integrity principle. So remember that these things should be controlled. All the things should be traceable. And periodic verification is required. And periodic verification is a part of your CSV or the CSC. So friends, thank you with me, and remember that I'm collected this all the observation from the Google or your, so you can say, internet point of view. Don't take a specific, this is not for a specific any company or any manufacturing unit or any other organization. It is only for learning purpose. And remember that all the points in observation, it's we should be involved in our CSV process, especially in risk assessment process. Ensure that and make a mitigation plan and make a control. So thank you for remaining with me. I hope you like it. If any suggestion, you can give me mail ID. This is my mail ID. You can mail it if any question, any query or any problem. We can face this and see how can we resolve this and see how can we resolve this. So this is my number. Also, so thank you so much. Remain in compliance, remain healthy, remain happy. I will back with another beautiful video before you for the learning, sharing and caring. So take care all of you. Thank you so much.